The morning sun slowly rose above the African sky. Golden grasslands stretched far, as if they had no end. Two rangers, a man and a woman, began their long patrol. They had already been traveling for many days, moving further and further away from the safety of their station. Every step was more difficult than the last. On their shoulders rested a heavy responsibility. They were not only guards of the wild, but also caretakers and rescuers of every living creature. The man carried a handsaw, medical equipment, and a tranquilizer gun in case of emergencies. The woman carried antiseptic, swabs, and a notebook to write down every rescue. The grassland was calm in the early hours. Birds sang in the gentle breeze. But the rangers knew well that this calm could hide unexpected dangers. As they drove deeper into the wild, their eyes caught sight of something unusual. Near a small lonely tree, a big male lion stood completely still. It did not move even when humans came closer. This was strange, because lions normally keep their distance. The rangers stopped the vehicle immediately. They scanned the area. No other lions were in sight. The woman frowned. This lion's stillness was not normal. Something was wrong, and it was dangerous. The rangers carefully walked closer, their hearts beating faster with each step. They worried about what they might find. When they reached the tree, their fear turned real. The lion's neck was trapped tightly between two sharp branches that looked like pincers. The mighty animal stood weak and thin. Its eyes were closed, its breath shallow, as if it had been like this for hours, maybe even days. A foul smell filled the air. Yellow pus and blood flowed from the deep wound. The male ranger whispered, guessing that the lion had been stuck for 3 days or more. Its pride must have left long ago, leaving it alone to suffer. Both rangers looked at each other, their eyes showing both fear and determination. They knew they had no time to waste. This was a matter of life and death. A rescue plan had to be made. Immediately, the woman quickly checked the wound. It was swollen and badly infected. The man realized the lion must have rubbed against the tree to ease its itch or pain, but instead, it had gotten stuck. In desperation, it had struggled violently, tearing its flesh even more, until exhaustion left it powerless. There was no radio signal, and the ranger station was 2 days away. No help could arrive in time. The rangers would have to save the lion themselves. The woman raised the tranquilizer gun. Her hands were steady as she aimed. She fired a single dart. The lion twitched, then slowly collapsed into deep sleep. The man wasted no time. He pulled out the handsaw and began cutting the thick branch. The saw screeched as it moved back, and earthy sweat dripped from his forehead. At last, the wood cracked and broke. The lion's neck was finally free. The lion lay limp on the ground, its body weak and lifeless. The smell of death still surrounded it. The woman quickly poured antiseptic on the wound. Her hands moved quickly but carefully as the injury was deep and horrifying to look at. She wrapped the wound in bandages to stop further infection. Then she gave the lion a shot of antibiotics to fight the dangerous bacteria inside its body. Together, the rangers lifted the heavy animal onto a stretcher. They placed it carefully inside their special vehicle. With ropes, they tied its body securely so it wouldn't fall during the rough ride. When everything was ready, they started their journey. The drive back to the station would take 2 days. The lion lay unconscious inside the cage. Sometimes it twitched from pain. The woman sat beside it, dropping water on its dry lips so that it would not die of thirst. The man kept his eyes fixed on the road, driving across rough dirt paths filled with bumps and holes. At night, they stopped by the roadside. They set up a small tent and kept the cage close by to watch over the lion. In the firelight, the two sat silently, hoping the animal would survive until morning. Finally, the ranger station appeared in the distance. The rangers breathed with relief. Here, real healing could begin. Veterinarians rushed out to meet them. The lion was carried into the field operating room. Under deep anesthesia, doctors began their work. They removed dead tissue from the wound, cleaned out the pus, and stitched the torn flesh carefully. Strong antibiotics and fluids were given to fight infection and dehydration. After hours of work, The lion was taken to intensive care. The next day, it opened its eyes for the first time. It licked its dry lips. When a piece of meat was given, it slowly chewed and swallowed. This was the first step toward recovery. Day by day, the lion grew stronger. After 2 days, it managed to stand. A week later, it was walking slowly in a small enclosure. The doctors were happy. The healing was faster than expected. Soon, the lion was moved into a semi-wild space where it could exercise its body. It walked more, its muscles regaining strength. Golden fur began to cover the once terrible wound. Every time the rangers visited, the lion came closer, growling softly in a friendly way. It remembered them as its saviors. On the 10th day, the lion was ready. The rangers decided it was time to take it home. They loaded the cage into the vehicle. The lion lay inside, its eyes bright and full of life. After many days of suffering, it was strong enough to return to the grasslands. When the cage door opened, the lion stepped out slowly. Its paws pressed firmly on the golden grass. It lifted its head, took a deep breath, and looked up at the wide sky as if to announce, "I have returned." Before leaving, it turned its head. Its eyes met the ranger's eyes. That silent look carried deep gratitude, a thank you without words. The rangers stood still, their hearts full of emotion. They knew this moment would stay with them forever. The lion then walked away, blending into the endless grassland. Its majestic figure soon disappeared on the horizon. It was free again, strong, wild, and alive. On their way back, the rangers thought about this rescue. They understood that their duty was not only to protect nature, but to give every life a second chance. It was a day they would never forget, the day they saved the life of the true king of the grassland.